All right, hello boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's your buddy Mr. G. We are back with the second part of our walk cycle video. In this video, we're going to add a background that is going to scroll by our character while they walk. We've already done the walk cycle. We've got our character moving. He's got some bounce in his step. He's got some wiggle to his hat and his head and his neck. So we got some kind of good kind of secondary movement going within the body, and then we're going to add some secondary movement outside of the body and the movement of the background, and we're going to add foreground elements that are going to scroll by, and we're also going to add some sound here. Okay, so to do that, we're going to go ahead and get back to the beginning here. So scroll back to the beginning here. Okay, now the first thing that we're going to need for this, I went in the your Google Classroom. I've got the background elements and the foreground elements, and I got the MP3 whistle sound. All three of those you're going to make sure that you bring in as compositions and not footage, and retain the layer sizes in regards to the Illustrator files for Animate or Adobe Illustrator for the background and the foreground elements. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our composition, which we're already in. We called that My Name Walk Cycle. Okay, and we got that. We already got our pre-composed guy in there right where we left off. Now we're going to grab the background elements right here. We're going to drag that in there as well. Then we'll see we got the background elements. Now I've got that underneath that. Make sure that the background is underneath. Remember, it's like a cheeseburger. Layers are stacked just like a sandwich. So if this is not under it, it's going to appear over it. So we don't want that. We want to make sure it's underneath there. Okay. All right. Now we're going to change the position on this, and I am going to zoom out here, and you can see that in the frame that what we want to have is as he's walking, this is going to scroll by. Okay, now I've already kind of done the math, and what I did, I went and grabbed my length here, and I made a shape go by in his walk cycle, and this is a 15-second walk cycle. So I made the position, and I measured the position. When I grab this here on background, we're just going to hit P because we're going to add a position thing. Okay, this number, I just took those numbers and one kind of second I measured that out, and in 1 second I took that number and I multiplied it by 15 to get it, and it came up with about a 9,000 pixel travel time. So that's how I came up with that. You could try to eyeball it as well, but that's how I came up. So this is a 9,000 pixel wide Adobe Illustrator file that I've got going across here. So I am going to go and just set this at the beginning here. Okay, my position here, I've got this one is the one we're going to move. Okay, I'm going to set that kind of position right at the edge there. This other one here, I'm just going to set to 350 and set it just like that, because that one is not going to move. We're going to keep that as a constant that goes across. Okay, so I'm going to start right there. So I'm going to go 350. I'm going to go ahead and make a keyframe right there. Okay, and then I'm going to travel to the end of my animation to 15 seconds. I am going to take this guy and I'm going to take him all the way to the end here, just like this. Again, we're going to keep that at 350. That's going to be our second keyframe, and that's going to travel across there. Okay. Now, as we go through here and play it, we're just going to hit play there and let it go and see how it looks. Okay. And that looks pretty good there. I'm pretty happy with that. It might need some slight adjustment here and there, but for the most part, you can see that we've got the background traveling with the character. He doesn't look like he's sliding forward or backwards as he goes, and looks like he is stepping along with the background. Groovy. Okay, so we got that part. So now we're going to go ahead and go back to the beginning. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add the foreground elements. Okay, foreground elements I've got here, and again, I'm going to drag those down. Okay, now these are just some set of trees. Here is what we have here, and I want these to be in front of the characters. These are going to be closer to the viewer in this case. I'm going to drag this to the top of the stack like this. Okay, and now the same thing, I'm going to drag these down, and you can see this one is a little bit shorter. If I go here, you can see this guy is a little bit shorter in composition with this one here. So I'm going to get him there, and I am going to go ahead and do the same thing where I'm going to grab up here when I hit P for position. I'm going to add a keyframe, and I've got that at 500. Let's just make it 550, just to make an even number here. So 550, and then we're going to go ahead, hit that animation, drop keyframe, scroll these guys by here. That, make this 550 again for our horizontal number, vertical number rather. And then we're going to play that. Oop, I forgot to move my camera. Let's do that again. Let's just do that again. Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. Start that again there. I forgot to move my keyframe. Alright, so 550. Grab this all the way. We'll scrub it about, did it again. Grab to the end, and then we're going to grab, we'll drag this all the way down. That 550 again, and then we should go back here. Alright, now when I take this and I'm going to bring it up here to fit, I'm going to play my character. Now, as he goes along here, I would like these front guys to move a little bit faster than the guys in the background to give us a little suspension of space here. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. The way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to eyeball this on here, and I am going to get my move tool, and I am simply going to resize this a bit bigger to be a bit longer, like that. And I'm going to click on my space here. We're going to bring it back here at the beginning. Again, 550. Turn. We'll go to the end. Take that here to the end. Again, 550. Turn. Come up here to fit again. Come to the beginning. Space bar, and there you can see our foreground elements are now moving a bit faster because we've enlarged them and stretched them out into the same space. And that's what we want. Okay, all right, that all looks groovy. So now last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add the sound. We're gonna go very back to the beginning again here. Okay, we're gonna come down here and we're gonna add this sound. Okay, again, we're just gonna take that, drag that down. Doesn't really matter. We're gonna put it at the bottom of the stack here. Okay, go ahead and push play. All right, so this is only a 4-second sound bite here. So we're just going to take it and we're going to do Command C, Command V, Command V. We're going to duplicate it a couple times. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take this one and we're going to take this out, put it right up to the end. We're going to take the next one and put it right up to the end. We'll hit Command V one more time. Things nice and neat. We'll move this guy down. We're just going to duplicate that until we get to the end of our 15 seconds. Now these sounds butt up against each other pretty well as a whistle, but if you had ones, you could overlap those right there a little bit if you needed to. Okay, but the way we have it here, this should go ahead and play out. So we're going to go back and check our sound. Alright, I've got my guy whistling, he's walking, it plays all the way through, everything's looking pretty good, okay? space bar here. I'm going to go ahead and hold down shift, and I'm going to go ahead and grab these guys. We're going to pre-compose that sound into one, so we're just going to right click on that and pre-compose that into whistle. And that will kind of group those guys together there. Okay, everything's looking great. We'll go up here to File and we'll go ahead and export this. We want to export, and we're just going to add it to the render queue. Okay, best settings, we'll leave it on best settings. Where do I want to put it? I'll tell it where I would like to send that file, and then I will go and I'll call it John Groover Walk File MP4. Go ahead and we're going to add that to my Cookie Fingers folder and my walk cycle, and I'll go ahead and save that. And when I'm ready, I'll go ahead and render that out by hitting the render button, and then you're all ready to go with this to turn in. All right, everybody stay creative, and I will see you mañana.